Hello guys, and welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. Now today's video I will be talking about 5 players which I wouldn't mind Luton Town signing in this summer transfer window. The window is now open. We are allowed to sign some players. Do I think we're going to sign loads of players? I'm not too sure. There's a few gaps within the team which I definitely think need filling. A couple in the defensive areas and also in the midfield, because we have lost Ross Barkley and also Lokonga. We don't know if Osho is staying. We don't know if Lockyer is going to play football again. So there's lots of unanswered questions at the moment. But one thing for sure is we need to make sure that we go into this championship season being as prepared as possible. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about 5 players which I've seen, who I like the look of, and I think Luton could bring into the club. I don't know how realistic these signings are. I try and make it as realistic as possible, but I let you guys judge in the comments down below. So the first player which I wouldn't mind Luton signing is going to be a centre-back, and he goes by the name of Oliver Casey from Blackpool. He is a 23-year-old centre-half. I think he's 24 this year. He played over 20 times for Blackpool last season and he was very good. Now, from what I've seen from him, the highlights, and also looking at his data analytics, which a lot of clubs do nowadays, we are one of the clubs that are very good at looking at the data. It looks good. It really does. He's a non-nonsense centre-half. He's very aggressive. He's very brave. He's very good at set pieces. The year before last year, he was on loan at Forest Green and he won their Player of the Season award there. So he had a great year in League One. Last year was his 2nd season in League One. And I think he's done a really good job. He's that type of player that is at a good age where he can still develop and become even better. He's got years ahead of him in terms of development. And when I look at other Luton Town centre-backs over the years, he's very similar to what we've had in the past. You know, when I look at Matty Pearson, I look at Lockyer, those types of centre-backs, I think he suits the mould. I think he's similar to Reece Burke as well. He is a right-sided centre-back, but I like the look of him. And he is going to cost, because he's got 3 years left on his deal. He actually signed a brand new deal last season, so that tells you how much Blackpool actually rate him as a player, and Blackpool would definitely be one of the teams that are trying to get promoted back to the Championship this year as well. So I think he's a player which we should be maybe bring into the club, because from what I've seen, he looks really good. Number 2, the second player which I think Luton should look at is a player which has been at the club before, in Cody Drameh. Cody was part of the team that won promotion to the Premier League. We obviously didn't bring him in the summer for whatever reasons it was, and we chose Isaac Kapore. I think Leeds wanted a lot of money and it was way out of our maybe quote for him. We maybe valued him at a certain wage or certain value, and Leeds was like, no, you need to go a bit higher. But now he's out of contract. We can sign him on a free transfer. Now, I don't care what happened last year. He was on loan at Birmingham, but we all know what he can do. We've seen it. We've seen how energetic he is on the right side of defence. We see him put crosses into the box. We know how good he is defensively as well. I think it's a no-brainer. He knows the club. He knows how good it is here. And if Luton show interest, we all hear how good the atmosphere is in the dressing room and how great Rob Edwards is with the players. Surely this is a no-brainer for Cody if we were to be interested in him. Now the question is, do we need a right back? That is the question. Now we've got Hashi, who I think is going to play right wing back, but he can also play as a right-sided centre-back. And we've also got Ogbeni, but I like Ogbeni further forwards, where he's going to be at his best. That pace, the skill, getting past players, that dribbling ability. He's more dangerous further up the pitch. Now, it all depends whether or not we're going to play with, with wingers going forward, like we did last year, which we were quite dangerous with. I feel like the wing-back system is still going to stay in place. I feel like we are going to play with three centre-halves. But to have a right-sided flank with Cody and also Ogbeni, it looks very dangerous. It really is. And Cody, he's at that age, he's still young, he's still got years of development. I wouldn't mind him. I really wouldn't mind him signing for Luton. I think we could get the best out of him, and we already know him as well. So I feel like that is a perfect match. But let me know in the comments, do you think Cody should return back to Luton? Now, the rest of the players which I'm going to suggest Luton to sign are all midfielders. I don't think attacking wise we need to recruit. I think we're quite sorted in those attacking areas. We've got lots of competition, lots of quality as well. And we've got a few question marks of whether or not we're going to loan some of those attacking players out. So it leaves the midfield with Lokonga not looking like he's going to sign for Luton, and Ross Barkley obviously going to Aston Villa. We are very weak in that central midfield area. Of course, we've lost Luke Berry as well. We don't know if Alan Campbell is going to feature here at Luton. So we've got plenty of gaps in that midfield. So the one player which I would love to sign is Lewis O'Brien, which we've actually been rumoured to be signing. We have got other competition from other clubs in the Championship. But Lewis O'Brien, I really did enjoy him at Huddersfield. I thought Huddersfield was one of their best players. The way they play their football is very similar to the way we were playing our football at the time. I think he suits the mould. He's really good at tackling. His off the ball work is extremely good. His quality on the ball. I think his passing range is brilliant. I think he suits the club. I really do think he suits everything about it. Now, he was actually meant to sign for Blackburn last year, but that deal fell through due to paperwork. And I feel like we should be all over this. I think we can afford him. I don't think the money is going to be that high. It's whether or not he wants to sign for us and move down south after playing up north for the last couple of seasons. I would love him here. I think he would suit the club inside out and enjoy playing his football. So that's the third player who I think Luton should look at. The fourth player now is a bit out there, but I've enjoyed watching this player in particular in the past, especially when he was at Oxford. And that player is Shandon Baptiste. Now, he's just been released from Brentford in the Premier League. He wants to go out and play first team football, and he just reminds me of Lokonga. He's very similar in playing style to Lokonga. So that could be an ideal replacement, if I'm being honest with you. He was brilliant at Oxford. I remember at the time, loads of clubs were raving about him. Brentford got there, they got him, and he was part of Brentford's promotion to the Premier League. Since being a Premier League club at Brentford, probably had too many injuries. That's probably affected his first team appearances. But if we can manage him and manage those injuries and keep him fit, I think he will become a really good player for us. And on a free signing, you know, I know everyone talks about Luton being really aggressive in the summer and signing players on big, you know, big money signings and all that. But you can do business smart, and I feel like that would be a very smart signing. I think the data as well, I mentioned that again, I think it would really benefit Luton with what he brings on and off the pitch. And yeah, I just think it's an ideal signing. From what I've seen, what he can do, for me, it's a no-brainer. I think we should invest and get him in, like I say, on a free transfer. So all we've got to do is pay his wages. I think it would be really ideal. And the last player, and I'm just throwing his name in the mix because I've also watched him plenty of times as well. It's a player that's played over 400 times for Preston North End, and that player is Alan Browne. I think Alan Browne is absolutely quality. I've enjoyed watching him every time he plays. He can also play as a right-sided wing-back as well. He plenty of off-the-field work. He's great going forward. He isn't signing a new deal at Preston. I believe there's off-the-field issues with him and the manager. They don't get on, so he's not willing to sign. Preston gave him one of his biggest ever contract offer he's ever received, a high-value contract, but he's chosen not to renew it. Whether or not he will get the same money at Luton, I don't think so. I think it is going to be to do with money. But he is a player that's got plenty of quality in an area which we are desperate in recruiting in my opinion. I think he will, you know, raise that quality in that midfield. And just type in on YouTube Alan Browne player highlights and you know exactly what he's all about. So he's the fifth and final player which I wouldn't mind Luton signing. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. One player I was going to mention, but he's going into the Premier League, is Ronnie Edwards from Peterborough. He's a young centre-half who I've always been saying, the last time I've done this video, I mentioned it last year, I thought Luton should have been all over it. Young centre-half with plenty of potential, plays for England youth, probably going to be a future England centre-back in my opinion. Great at the ball at his feet, but he looks like he's going to Southampton, which is probably an ideal move for him because of the way Russell Martin likes to play his football. But unfortunately, we look like we're missing out on that signing. But apart from that, I feel like the 5 players which I have picked are more than capable of, 1, having an impact at Luton, and 2, have plenty of years of development in them to become even better players in the future. So those are my 5 players. Let me know which players you think we should go out and look at and bring to the club. We haven't made any signings yet, but I feel like that will change in the next 2 weeks. But let me know your thoughts all down in the comments, and don't forget to like and follow me across all my social media as well. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Hopefully you like the new backdrop. I'm trying to improve things, try to be a little bit more creative. I'll add something here in the near future. But yeah, onwards and upwards, come on you at us, and yeah, let's go.